Well, it's pretty toasted, but I can get 1880 something on it. So we broke into the 1800s today. This is Steve. Welcome back to Southwest Wisconsin Metal Detecting. Once again, I'm at a older home on a corner lot in my hometown, and I'm on the major highway again. So we're gonna have some noise and possibly some wind noise too. But I'll get you turned around. We'll show you the house here real quick. We'll get on to that first good beat. There she is. Well, let's see what we can find. Well, the very first signal today was a good coin signal, but it was just a clad 1980 dime. On to the next beat. Well, my second target definitely had me fooled. It is a humongous square nail or square spike. I'm not sure what this is. On to the next beat. Well, I'm still at the hole where I pulled that big square nail out. I swung over it again and it gave me that 22 signal again. So it actually sniffed out a 1999 Zinkin, which was my 22 I was digging for. That's why I love this Equinox. You can pick out a coin just buried with a bunch of iron. But we want something a little bit older. So on to the next beat. Well, I love this. My last hole was a large square nail and a memorial. And you can just see this. All I did was flip that up a little bit. And I got a 1941 Philadelphia wheat cent. We'll take those shallow Wheaties. On to the next beat. Out of the next hole, it's just a copper penny, but it's 1966. On to the next beat. Well, this is promising. I don't think this yard has been detected. Right over here was that last copper penny, and I found another one here, 1977 D, I believe. But I think we're going to get on something older. So let's get on to the next good beat. Well, this yard is so small, I'm probably going to show everything I dig. 1974 copper penny this time. On to the next beat. And the next coin next to the sidewalk is a 1978 D copper penny. On to the next beat. Well, I hope we get on some older coins soon, but this is reality of metal detecting. 1974 copper penny. On to the next beat. Well, I did have a good feeling about this yard, seeing that it's never been detected. I just lightly wiped this and we got ourselves an Indian head scent. I'm going to get it cleaned up off camera and we'll get a date for you. Be right back. Well, the obverse is just beautiful. It's a 1903 Indian head scent. Back looks like it's got a little environmental damage to it, but very nice. On to the next beat. And the very next hole, about as deep as the Indian head scent was, is a 1978 Lincoln penny that's been clipped by a lawnmower. On to the next beat. Well, this one was penny size, about 5.5, 6 inches deep. We'll get her cleaned up. We're hoping it's a Wheatie. I'll be right back. Indeed it was. It is a 1928 Philadelphia. Nice. Boy, that was a squeaky little signal. On to the next beat. Well, the very next targets were little clad coin spill, 1997 Lincoln cent, and a 1993 Roosevelt dime. On to the next beat. And the next one is a 1971 D Lincoln cent. On to the next beat. Well, out of this hole was a 12 or 13 signal on the Equinox 800, and it is a nickel, which they usually are in those ranges. I think it's modern. 2002, 19 years old. On to the next beat. Well, this one was my first 2930, which is usually a quarter on the Equinox 800, and it was bicentennial, 1976. On to the next beat. Well, this deep penny looks pretty wiped, but I'm guessing it's going to be a wheat cent. Probably an old one. No, it's an Indian. Well, I'll be darned. I am so glad I'm digging these iffy signals today. That was pretty junky. Second Indian out of the yard. I'm gonna have to come back. I don't want to waste your time. I'm gonna clean it up. I'll be right back. Well, it's pretty toasted, but I can get 1880 something on it. So we broke into the 1800s today. Hopefully when I get home, I see it's kind of flaking off, so there ain't much saving this coin, but I'll try to get the full date. On to the next beat. Well, right after an 1800s Indian head cent, I get a 2000 dime. Gotta love this hobby of metal detecting. On to the next beat. Wow, these Indian signals are jumping all over the place on the Equinox today. But I know what they're doing, so I'm finding them. I'm gonna keep digging that signal. I'll get this cleaned up, see if I can get a date. Be right back. Well, this Indian came out in beautiful shape compared to that last one. It's a 1905. Even the back's in pretty decent shape. Awesome. 3 Indians, and I'm only an eighth of the way through this yard. I'm loving it. Gotta find some silver soon. On to the next beat. Wow, I think this is my 4th Indian. I'm kind of losing track. I'm gonna get it cleaned up, see if we can get a date. I'll be right back. Wow, this is a lot of fun. This one's a 1907 Indian head cent. Again, in pretty decent shape. Well, until I get water on it. Well, on to the next beat. Out of this hole, I found a accordion reed. I'll just brush it off quick here. Ah, it's the note A this time. A little short one. On to the next beat. Well, out of this hole, found a big old key. Titan. Quick set. I'm guessing it's not very old. It's a pretty neat looking key though. All right, on to the next beat. Well, out of this hole, I found my second key. This one looks like it might be a little older. Get it cleaned up here real quick. Jeco, however they pronounce that. Jeco. National Key Company, Cleveland, Ohio, I'm assuming. Oh, neat. Well, we'll add that to the key ring. On to the next beat. Well, out of this hole, I believe I might have got a V-nickel. Let's get a brush to that. Oh yeah, there's Lady Liberty. Oops. Wanted to go back home. Looks like 1908. Yes, 1908. Awesome. Don't get many of those. On to the next beat. Well, the next hole here, looks like I got another wheat cent. I pulled it out and wiped it. It says 1 cent. $19.19 Philadelphia. All right, kind of an early one. On to the next beat. Well, out of this little hole here, I'm on the bank that comes up from the sidewalk. It's quite steep. There's 3-4 steps over there. I found a nice little spill here, all clad, but 43 cents. On to the next beat. Well, I think I found a dog tag. It's pretty shallow. It's aluminum, so it may not be very old. No, definitely not. The 2000s anyways. On to the next beat. Well, here's a familiar face. I must have found 3 or 4 of these through the years. Tootsie Toy Jaguar. On to the next beat. I think I found dog tag number 2 in the last 2 minutes. This one might be a little older. Looks like the lawnmower might have got it. A little older. I think it says 1992. On to the next beat. I just wanted to show you this quarter. It rang up like a 2930, like every other quarter does on my Minelab Equinox 800. And I really didn't even think it was a quarter when I first dug it. It is so manipulated. I can see the end of States of America and a date of 2001 down here, but I've never even seen a lawnmower blade do that. It's so bizarre. Anyways, on to the next beat. Well, out of this hole, I believe this is going to be a wheat cent. Yep, there it is, 1 cent. And let's see, we get a date. Looks like a 1956 D, I'm gonna guess, in the field here. Sweet. 1956 D wheat cent. On to the next beat. Out of this hole, found a little peace sign. Must have broke off a necklace. On to the next beat. Well, I haven't found my metal target, but up popped an astronaut. He's plastic. But that's fun. On to the next beat.